were becoming obsolescent and expensive to operate, but few modern aircraft were immediately available to replace them, leading to substantial Dash 8 sales. To date, over 1,000 have been delivered. The Dash 8 has been offered in several lengths and operating weights, but in 2008, Bombardier announced the discontinuation of the shorter and less powerful variants, leaving the Q400 as the only Dash 8 still in production. As of February 2023, de Havilland Canada has 4 DHC-8s registered with Transport Canada and operate as ICAO airline designated DHC, and Telephony de Havilland. 14, 15, DHC 515 Firefighter. In 2022, de Havilland Canada announced that an improved version of the Canadair CL-415 amphibious aerial firefighting aircraft will be produced at a new assembly line in Calgary, Alberta, as the DHC 515 Firefighter. 16, aircraft built under license. Canadian-built DH.83C Foxmoth with canopy fitted to pilot's position at Manchester, Ringway, Airport in 1955. De Havilland Mosquito BMK.XX, the Canadian version of BMK.4. One of 40 USAF F-8S. Canadian Armed Forces CS-2 Tracker. De Havilland Canada Company produced a large number of aircraft under license, mostly versions of designs from its original parent company, British de Havilland Aircraft. De Havilland Foxmoth. Foxmoths were produced in Canada after the Second World War mainly to keep the plant in production, but also to satisfy the increasing need for new bush aircraft. All the Canadian modifications made to the Tiger Moth were also applied to the Foxmoth. De Havilland designed a special stretcher for the Foxmoth so it could operate as an air ambulance. Of the 53 produced, 39 remained in Canada, most of which were operated in float-forward/ski configuration and gave years of satisfactory service. The Foxmoth, though efficient, was a bit of an anachronism. For example, a modern, molded plexiglass sliding cockpit hood was attached to what was essentially a 1932 aircraft. Communication between the passenger cabin in the fuselage and the cockpit to their rear was through a hole in the instrument panel. De Havilland Mosquito. Before the end of the Second World War, de Havilland Canada built 1,134 Mosquitoes, of which 444 were on strength with the RCAF in models Bomber Mk7 through Trainer Mk29 from 1 June 1943 to the 28th of September 1951. De Havilland Canada, Grumman, CS-2F Tracker. In 1954, the Royal Canadian Navy decided to replace its fleet of obsolescent Grumman TBM Avenger anti-submarine warfare (ASW) aircraft with domestically produced, license-built versions of the new Grumman S2F Tracker. The contract for the CS2F was worth $100 million, at the time, the largest post-Second World War Canadian defense contract. Sub-assemblies of the aircraft would be produced by various Canadian companies and shipped to de Havilland Canada facilities, where de Havilland would build the forward fuselage and crew compartment, assemble the aircraft, oversee installation of the ASW electronics, and prepare the aircraft for delivery. The first Canadian-built tracker flew on the 31st of May, 1956. A total of 99 trackers was produced for RC service starting in the same year. 17. A few of these aircraft would serve with the Canadian military until the 1990s. A few XCF trackers were sold to Ministry of Natural Resources, Ontario, and later resold to Conair, for forest firefighting duties. Hydrofoil. HMCS Brasd or HMCS Brasdor, FHE 400, was a hydrofoil built from 1960 to 1967 for the Royal Canadian Navy. It served from 1968 to 1971 as a testing platform for anti-submarine warfare technology on an ocean-going hydrofoil. During sea trials in 1969, the vessel exceeded 63 knots, 117 kilometers per hour, 72 miles per hour, making her possibly the fastest warship in the world. The vessel was constructed at Marine Industries Limited of Sorel, Quebec, with de Havilland Canada the prime contractor. Retired by the Navy, the hydrofoil now is displayed at the Musée Maritime du Québec in L'Isle-sur-Mer, Quebec. Privatization. In the 1980s, the Government of Canada privatized DHC and in 1986 sold the aircraft company to the Seattle-based Boeing. 718. The government claimed to have guarantees from Boeing not to discontinue any product lines, but shortly thereafter, Boeing discontinued both the successful Twin Otter and the Dash 7. The jigs and specialized equipment for their manufacture were destroyed. Boeing was in heavy competition with Airbus industry for a series of new airliners for Air Canada, at that time a Canadian Crown corporation. Boeing used the DHC purchase to further strengthen its commitment to shared production contracts. The contract was particularly contentious. When Air Canada announced that Airbus had won the contract in 1988, amid claims of bribery, Boeing immediately put DHC up for sale, placing the company in jeopardy. Sale to Bombardier. DHC was eventually acquired by Montreal-based Bombardier Aerospace in 1992. 8. DHC was eventually incorporated into the Bombardier group of companies and the Dash 8 remained in production, with a particular emphasis being placed on its quiet operation in comparison to other aircraft of a similar size. This product line was expanded to 4 models, and the largest is labeled Q400. Purchase by Viking /Longview. On the 24th of February, 2006, Viking Air of Victoria purchased the type certificates from Bombardier Aerospace for all the original de Havilland designs, 19, including DHC-1 Chipmunk, DHC-2 Beaver, DHC-3 Otter, DHC-4 Caribou, DHC-5 Buffalo, DHC-6 Twin Otter, DHC-7-7. The ownership of the certificates gives Viking the exclusive right to manufacture new aircraft. Previously Viking had purchased in May 2005 the right to manufacture spares and distribute the de Havilland Heritage aircraft product line. 9. Despite the transfer of its light aircraft certificates to a new owner, de Havilland Canada has left a legacy of innovative and unique aerospace designs and its products are still flying in considerable numbers worldwide. 20. And it has become a productive member of the Bombardier Aerospace stable. The Dalwins-View plant still turns out civilian propeller aircraft, and the facility maintains thousands of employees. In November 2018, Viking Air parent Longview Aviation Capital Corporation acquired the Bombardier Dash 8 program and the de Havilland brand from Bombardier, in a deal that was expected to close the second half of 2019. 21. In January 2019, Longview announced that it would establish a new company in Ontario, to be called de Havilland Aircraft Company of Canada, to continue production of the Q400 model support the Dash 8 range. 22. The deal closed on the 3rd of June 2019. The newly formed company inherited an order book of 51 Q400s. 1. Longview did not intend to merge Viking Air and de Havilland. Some 1,200 Bombardier staff transferred to the new de Havilland Company, which intended to continue Dash 8-400 production at Dalwans View until a lease expires in 2023 and hopes to negotiate an extension to that date. Other Dash 8 variants are also under consideration, in particular to target the North American 50-seater market. 23. In February 2022, Longview consolidated its activities with Viking Air, Longview Aviation, Pacific Sky Training and de Havilland Canada, all being rebranded as de Havilland Aircraft of Canada. 24. In June 2022, after a celebration with 10 DHC types present, from a 1942 Tiger Moth to a 2019 DHC 8-400, the last DHC aircraft left the Dalwans View site. 25. In September 2022, de Havilland Canada announced that Wheatland County, Alberta, was to be the location of its new production site, to be known as de Havilland Field. The facility will initially manufacture the DHC 515 firefighting aircraft. The DHC-6 Twin Otter and the Dash 8-400 will also be assembled at de Havilland Field once production resumes. 26. Aircraft product list and details. 27. Aircraft purpose capacity first flight span of production number build Havilland DH.60 Moth, DH.60M, biplane trainer for the Royal Air Force, RAF, and Royal Canadian Air Force, ACAF. 2 Crew 1928-1928, 40, 28. De Havilland DH.82 Tiger Moth biplane trainer for the RAF and RCAF. 2 Crew 19311548 De Havilland DH.83 Fox Moth DH.83C variant for bushplane and private pilots. 1 crew and 3-4 passengers. 1945-1945-194853 De Havilland DH.98 Mosquito multi-role fighter and fighter bomber for the RAF and ACAF. Multiple variants. 2 Crew 1940-1945-1940-19507,781 De Havilland Canada DHC-1 Chipmunk Tandem Trainer. 2 Crew 1946-1947-19561,283 De Havilland Canada or Viking Air DHC-2 Beaver Bush Plane. 1 crew and 7 passengers. 1947-1947-1967-1,657 De Havilland Canada DHC-3 Otter STOL Bush Plane. 1 crew and up to 11 passengers. 1951-1953-1967466 Grumman / De Havilland Canada CS2F Tracker under license from Grumman Anti-Submarine UFR for the Royal Canadian Navy. 4 crew 1956-195-642 CS2F157 CS2F2 De Havilland Canada DHC-4 Caribou STOL Cargo and Tactical Transport. 3 crew and 32 troops or 24 fully-equipped paratroops or 14 casualty stretchers. 1958-1961 late 1960 S307 De Havilland Canada DHC-5 Buffalo STOL turboprop cargo and tactical transport. 3 crew and 41 troops or 24 stretchers. 1961-1965-1986-122 De Havilland Canada or Viking Air DHC-6 Twiner Tistel utility aircraft. 2 crew and 20 passengers. 1965-1966-1988-2008 present. Viking Air 990 plus De Havilland Canada DHC-7-7 still turboprop regional airliner. 2 crew and 35 to 54 passengers. 1975-1978-1988-113 De Havilland Canada or Bombardier DHC-8-8 turboprop regional airliner. 2 or 3 crew and 37 to 90 passengers. 1983-1984 present. 1,100 plus spacecraft. Alouette 1. See also. Bombardier Aerospace. Canadair. Canadian Air and Space Museum. De Havilland. Learjet. List of civil aircraft. List of still aircraft. Shorts. Viking Air.
Good. That was many information. I will stop the video.